Thanks for joining us, everyone. Today we are talking about SEO for ClickFunnels. So as I've just been discussing with Dan, not many people talk about SEO in the ClickFunnels world. It's mostly about running ads, posting on social media and stuff like that. But SEO is big. I'd imagine we all use Google to search for answers to things, to do research and get solutions. And your funnels, your funnel hubs, your pages could be those solutions that people find. And if you SEO is ultimately implementing a strategy whereby you get your page to rank. So if someone searches for fitness classes for people over 30, your page is the one that's closer to the top. And obviously the higher towards the top you are, the more clicks you get. And once you get yourself there, it's obviously going to drive a lot of free traffic. You don't have to worry about running paid ads or anything like that. So you just get continuous leads. People will be searching for it around the clock. So today we have got our resident social media expert and, well, digital marketing expert in general, Dan Mennear. He's going to go through it all with you. He's got a full agency, so handles all this stuff all the time. Dan, thank you very much for joining us today.
All right, thank you, Lee. I am trying to get my pages rearranged here so I can see everybody and see my slides at the same time. So give me 1 second here. SEO is going to be exciting for us because it is something, yeah, just like you mentioned, we're not really using it much in the ClickFunnel world or the funnel world in general. People are just haven't been doing it. They've been thinking, why do I need Google to know about my funnel? I'm just going to run some ads and I'm going to get in front of the right people. But SEO, or search engine optimization, is a way that we can improve our traffic to our funnels, right? Not just from paid, but from the organic side of things. Okay, so we're going to go over that. So let me make sure and share screen here. Okay, what screen are you seeing, Lee?
Mastering SEO.
Okay, I did the right one. Perfect.
We're off to the races today.
I've done this several times where I've actually just shared my slide notes and not the actual slides, and people are wondering what's going on. How come I can barely see it? Okay, so perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. I got to move a bunch of things out of my way and make sure I can see the chats. I am going to be putting a bunch of things in chats, links and different things for you. So as we go through, keep your eye on the chats. And as we continue to go through, if you have questions, go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and I'll have plenty of time afterwards to answer those questions. Lee, just to verify timing, are we planning 1 hour?
Whatever it takes. Yeah,
okay.
We typically run these for 45 minutes to 1 hour, but
I was thinking 45 minutes and 15 minutes of Q&A. So if
that perfect.
works.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'll keep
As long
an
as you've
eye
got
on the
gold to
clock.
deliver, we're
okay.
rolling.
Perfect. I'll keep an eye on the clock and we'll make sure and do that. Okay, so today then we're going to be talking about mastering SEO, right? SEO is a way, it's a way to help your sites, your pages, your funnels, and let's just get terminology. I might say sites, we might say funnels, we might say web pages, right? All of it. Let's just include anything I say there that includes everything, right? What we're trying to do is get those pages to show up on the search results so that when Google or Bing or any of the search engines, if they know about you, they put your information up and you can get more traffic coming to your pages or funnels. Okay, so we're going to start off and you're probably wondering, well, who am I? So first of all, my name is Dan Mennear, like Lee mentioned. I have a digital marketing agency called DK Digital, and I've been helping businesses with websites do search engine optimization and ads and all sorts of things for a long time. I've also been helping people in the funnel world to run ads and get traffic to their sites, and so I'm very familiar with search engine optimization and how it all works. and want to make sure that people in the funnel world also know. Now, I also realize that there's people in the funnel world who maybe they have a brick and mortar building, right? And you still have a funnel, and so that's fine. That's perfect. And maybe you have just a service business. Maybe like you're an HVAC technician and you still have a funnel, and that's great. Okay, so we want to recognize that there's lots of different businesses and funnels can be used in lots of different ways. So as we go through some of this, you might say, well, that doesn't apply to me, but it may apply to somebody else's business. Okay, so we're going to cover a lot of different things that way. Okay, so what is SEO, right? And this is just a great explanation. It stands for search engine optimization, and it's the process of improving a website's visibility in search engine results pages. And by optimizing a site for keywords that users are searching for, you can increase organic traffic to the site and improve rankings in the search results. Okay, so ultimately what we're trying to do is we're just trying to help Google know who we are. And if Google knows who we are, then they can put our information up on their search results pages. So why is it important? Well, it's organic traffic is the most trusted traffic. Okay, if you have to rely on paid traffic or organic traffic, you would want to choose organic because it's always more trusted than paid. SEO just builds trust, credibility, and brand recognition for your business. Everybody puts a lot of faith in Google, right? And if your business shows up there, because in the organic fashion, then people believe that you are very relevant. Google believes, if you don't show up, they just think, I don't know who they are. Google doesn't even know who they are. But if Google knows who you are, gets your page to show up, you have a lot of credibility there. All right, and then at the same time, SEO helps you connect with the people who are actively searching for your product or service. All right, and so they're actively searching. They jump onto a search engine and they do a search for a product or service that you might be offering. And if they can find your business, that's how you can connect with them. Okay, so search engine optimization. Hopefully, we've made this very clear. It's very important, right? It really helps increase your traffic and grabs, and that increases your credibility. So you want to know, well, how do this search engine work? How does this all go together? Okay, so let me explain really quickly. Well, I'm going to use Google, and when I say Google, I mean Bing, Yahoo, everybody else, all the search engines. Okay, so Google will send out a bot to crawl your website. Okay, what it's doing is it's going through each of your pages of your website. As long as you have told Google that these bots or these pages are crawlable, right, and indexable. So if you've told them that, then they'll crawl your pages, and you'll be able to they'll get an idea of what your page is all about. Well, it's like them getting a piece of paper and saying, "Oh, hey, here we go. We have this business right here. Okay, well, let's put them in our filing cabinet," right? And that's called indexing. And then when they're indexing, they have to say, well, wait a minute, where are we going to put them in our filing cabinet? We want to rank them in some type of order so that we can provide results super fast, right? And so so that's why it's indexed, to make it super fast, and then it puts it in a ranking order that they see as important. Okay, and so this ranking order is what we typically see as that 1 through 10 on search results, right? Those are your top 10 search results that Google says is the most relevant for that search. Okay, and so that's what's happening with search engines. They crawl your websites, they find out what it's all about, and then they index you and rank you according to what they believe is most important. So search engine optimization, oftentimes what happens is Google ranks you and they put you in the far back because they don't know anything about you. So search engine optimization is the way to get them to find out more about you and have them move you farther up in the rankings. Okay. All right. So here's where a few links are going to come out here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when it comes to search engine optimization is we want to pay attention to the analytics. Okay, and the analytics are important. So first of all, make sure you have like a Google Analytics put on your page. Make sure you use tools. Google has a tool called Google Search Console. Bing has one called Bing Webmaster Tools. These are tools where you can get analytics from. Okay, and I'm going to I know they're on the page there, but I'm going to put them in the chat here for you as well, so you can see. So you can click on them and see them as well. Both of these places, a Google Search Console and the Bing Webmaster Tools, these are places where you can tell the search engine, hey, here I am. I've got a website. I've got pages. And then they can provide you data, statistics, analytics to show you what's happening with your website. Okay, so it's also something you want to do is to register with SEO. So go to Google Search Console and register your page there, right? And then run a site crawl. Tell Google to crawl your website, right? Sometimes it can take a few days, right? So it does not happen immediately. You cannot tell Google to do something and they drop everything and go, right? You tell them, hey, here's my site, go check it out. And it will take a few days, but they'll come back through and say, okay, we now have crawled your website. And the big thing you want to do is you want to verify that your site has been indexed, right? If you just created a new funnel, a new website, more than likely it hasn't been indexed. And Google's trying to index and as many as they can, but it could take several months before they could ever get to that point. So if you want to, if you have a new site, make sure that you go to the Google Search Console and submit it to Google, and then make sure that you verify that it has been indexed. And here's a tool that you can use, a URL inspection tool, and it's part of the Google Search Console, but it's just a direct link where you can put in your domain name and it will tell you if your site has been indexed. And so some tools there to help you, right? This is how you get started with SEO. You got to at least start collecting the data, right? And those are the information that you need. Now you've got to start working on your pages, right? How can you, what is SEO and how do we do it? Hold on, I just skip a page? No, okay, I got the right page. All right, so the first thing you want to do is some keyword research. You want to be able to start researching some keywords and figure out what words are people searching for. Okay, I'm going to drop in another link for you. This is a link that will show you what words your pages are already ranking for. Okay, so maybe your page has been around for a while, and if that's the case, then there are definitely words that's already ranking for. So you might want to see where your starting point is, right? And so this Moz Explorer link here will actually show you what words you're already ranking for. But otherwise, you're doing some research to see what keywords are people searching for. And there's things called long tail and short tail keywords. Quick example is a dentist. Okay, dentist is a short tail keyword, very short, very general. Dentist, right? And so that's also going to be very hard to break into because there's a lot of dentists, right? And there's a lot of people searching for that word. So a long tail keyword might be a dentist near me, or a pediatric dentist near me, or a dentist that can do crowns, right? Those are now keywords that are more long tail. Okay, the long tail keywords actually are can be a lot more focused and really do help you get to your search results a lot quicker because they're more detailed, more specific, there's going to be less people looking for them. And with less traffic, that means your pages can show up better. And I've got a little graph to show you that here in just a second. So once you've done your research on the keywords, you want to make sure that you include the keywords in your content of your pages, right? Your headlines, your subheadlines, put it in the body paragraphs. Use it as much as you can, but don't overstuff it, right? It's got to sound natural and normal to a user. So that's why I say create content for the user, not for Google. If you're trying to just, oh, I got to put this word in, this word, and this word, and then you read it and it doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to make sense to a user. So just don't overstuff the keywords you're trying to use. Just use them as much as you can, as normally as you can for a normal user. All right, now this next slide I want to show you, this kind of shows you that's the search demand curve. So on the left-hand side, this is the number of monthly searches. And then on the bottom, it's the number of keywords. And the long tail, you can see, are 70% of that search then is happening with long tails. And they might have less searches overall, but you're going to get greater results because they are more specific. Like if you said a pediatric dentist near me that does crowns, that's going to be, very, very detailed. You're going to find just a few dentists, and if you were one of those dentists, then your pages would show up. Okay. If you're trying to just say dentist, now you're competing against all the dentists across the world, right? And are you the top 10 of those dentists? We don't know, right? But if we can focus on these more long tail keywords, we're going to see better results. I'm going to stop right there for just a minute. Any questions about long tail keywords or anything that I've covered so far? You're all on mute, so you might have to unmute and ask a question or tell me if you're good.
Looks like we're good so far.
Yeah, I'm not tired. All right, go ahead, put your questions in. I want this to be interactive, so if you guys have a question as we're going, feel free. Write the question in. I'll try and answer it in the chat there. All right, so we're going to keep moving on then. This SEO could definitely go, you can get really detailed. And I don't want to get too detailed for you. I want to try and keep things as simple as possible for you, and so you really understand the whole picture and what steps you should take. Thanks, Larry. All good. Perfect. All right. So when it comes to doing SEO, there's on-page SEO. Okay, and there's also something called off-page SEO. So we're going to talk about both briefly. So on-page SEO are the things that you can do on your pages to help Google understand your site a little bit more. Okay, it just really needs a strong, clear confidence of who you are and what you're doing, so that when someone searches, they can say, "Oh, yep, that's them," and they can put you in front of them. Okay, so oftentimes we think, well, I got this website and it talks about these things, and they think that Google is just going to find out what it is. But when Google does things, when they index your websites, they crawl through your website and they index it. What they're doing is they're looking at what the public sees, and they're also looking on the back end of what the public does not see. All right, so we want to make sure we provide those types of things, so that what the public sees and what the public doesn't see, so that when Google indexes your site, they have a full understanding. Okay, so one of those things is title tags. Right, a title tag is something that the public does not see, right? You might think they do. You might think, oh yeah, that's the title of my page, but no, it's something different. If you've got tabs going across your web browsers there, if you hover over one of those tabs and some words appear on your tab, that is your title tag. So it is not the big headline on your page. It is up in that tab. If you hover, that's the name of it. And so most people are not looking at that tag, but Google definitely is. And that tag really tells Google what your page is supposed to be about. Okay. So having some good tags there, and you should aim for about 50 to 60 characters in that side of things. After that, it gets truncated and gets cut off. So you can always make them longer. Google doesn't care, but if you want your title tags to actually show up, then you want to make sure that they're about 50 to 60 characters. At the same time, there are things called meta descriptions, and a meta description basically is a quick explanation of what this page is about and what you're doing. Okay, and so again, you should aim for about 150 to 60 characters. Meta descriptions are not seen by the public. It's only seen by Google on the back end. In fact, if you do a search results, typically you see the top 10, and in that first one, you'll see like a blue link. That's the title tag. And the paragraph is the meta description. Okay, if you don't have a meta description on your page, then guess what? Google creates one for you. They'll scan through whatever they can find on your page and they'll plop it in there. And it may or may not make any sense. So it's always best to write in a meta description so that you can really clarify what people should see if your search results are seen. All right. Creating useful content, right? This is the public side of things, right? You want to make sure that you're answering the people's questions. They're helping to define and explain and help them to be, it's got to be simple and understanding. And you want to be thinking of the user every time you're building a site, right? And we've talked about this all the time when we build funnels, right? We want to make sure the funnel, the person understands what we're doing, and that's great. So keep doing that. Those types of things help Google as well. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Optimize content for keywords, right? So the content we have, we want to make sure that it actually has the keywords that we're trying to focus on. So keywords are going to be different for every page of your funnel, of your website. It's going to be different, right? So you're going to have keywords that are specific to this page and keywords specific to that page. So make sure that they have those keywords in there. And you want to make sure you have a nice site structure, like a linking structure. So when you have your URLs, it should say like your website.com/services/service 1 or service 2, service 3, right? Those types of things help Google and help the user actually understand where you're at. And then ultimately, you want to make sure you write good headlines. Headlines are headline 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You've probably seen them as you're building a funnel. And sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to put a headline 1 because it makes it big, right? Or I'm going to do a headline 3 because that makes it a little smaller over there. Well, I want to help you understand that headline H1s, 2s, 3s, 4s are actually more for Google purposes than they are for size purposes. So you can make an H1 and still have it be small, right? So you can make it an H1 and then go reduce the size of it. Or you can make it an H3 and then go increase the size of it. Okay, the size doesn't matter. It's that label that you apply to that headline that matters. Okay, so your H1 is your thesis statement for the page. So pretend that you guys are all writing an English paper, and the teacher says, "All right, I want you to write an essay, a one-page essay, and I want a thesis statement, and I want 3 supporting paragraphs." Right? That's what your website is doing, right? You got to have one thesis statement, and then the 3 paragraphs are supporting that thesis statement. Okay, those 3 paragraphs, they're your H2s or 3s or 4s or 5s, right? So and think of it all as an outline. As you look at your funnel, your page itself, the headline should read like an outline, and it should make sense. All right, now I'm going to show you an example of a page that you probably are all familiar with, and I'll show you which is the ClickFunnels.com page, right? This is a tool here that I've included, and I'll give you a link to it here. I got the link here at the end. But this tool basically will read and show you what the title and description is for any page on the internet, right? Any page that you're on the internet, it will show you what your title and your description are. It will show you what your headlines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are. Now, keywords back in the day, SEO really mattered because you had to tell Google, here's my keywords, right? You don't have to do that anymore. So keywords are always going to be missing now. This tool just still shows that like it's important, but it's not important because Google now cares more about, don't tell me what the keywords are. I'm going to scroll your website. I'm going to find out what the keywords are. That's how Google looks at it nowadays. All right, so you can see that, hey, they're doing pretty good. They got titles there. They got a description there. Those fit really good into the size there. But look at this. We got an H1 and there's 5 of them. And then we got 102 H2s. The 5 makes me a little bit nervous. What's going on there? Why is there 5 thesis statements on this one page? And so when you go over to the headers page, you can see that, yeah, these are the 5. 4,031 entrepreneurs signed up last week. Join them. Start your free 14-day trial now. Create your account. Step 1 of 2 by providing us with information you're consenting to the collection. So some of these things might have just been created for the purpose of the size. But as you read through this, if this is your H1 and then these are your H2s, do all of these things actually make sense on your page? Right? If they're not making sense on your page, then Google could be confused, right? And your English teacher would be like, all right, you don't have 3 supporting documents or 3 supporting paragraphs, for your thesis statement, right? And you don't get the A, all right? You might get the C because you wrote something, but and so that's how Google is going to look at it, right? They're going to say, well, you don't get an A, but we'll give you a C. And so you can do this for every single page of your website or funnel. And so you can evaluate how you're doing. So pay attention to your headlines, make sure they tell the story of what your page is about, and then fill the rest of the page in with the paragraphs that actually do the talking about it as well. All right. Also, you'll see that images are important. And I didn't do a snippet to show you images, but it also looks at every single image. And Google says can't see an image, so you have to tell Google what your image is about, right? So if your image is sitting there and it's a picture of a computer, right? Then you would want to say the alt tag would be like, this is a ClickFunnels website being built, right? Something like that. You want to have an explanation of what that is in relation to the page that it's on. Okay, so that's on-site SEO or on-page SEO. Now let's talk a little bit about off-page SEO. Off-page SEO provides Google information about how trusted your page can be. Okay, if your page is trusted, then it's going to have things that non-trusted pages don't have, right? So things like links. A backlink is a link from somebody else's website to your website. And so if you have a lot of these backlinks, then you're definitely more trusted. Okay. However, there is a difference between quality and quantity. Okay, quantity, you might have thousands of these backlinks, but boy, if you have some really good ones, if you have a .gov backlink to your site, if you have a .edu backlink to your site, or if you have like some big companies like a big like Walmart's, Amazon, any type of big company that has a lots of traffic and they're linking to you, those are all, the bigger they are, the more quality your link is. All right. So there's definitely a difference between quality and quantity. There's also lots of directories that pop up. And so if you can make sure that your information shows up in those directories and has links to your sites, they're very helpful. And you can, there was that empty dot was, it looks like I forgot to write in. You can also write articles for other people, write blog posts, be a guest blog post person, those types of things. Those are great ways to create backlinks to your site. All right, and then what that's doing is it's providing these social signals. How popular is your site? Do people, you might have lots of links, but are people actually coming to your sites, right? So you have thousands of visitors every month. Do you have hundreds? Do you have just a few? And then what do they do once they get there? Do they immediately leave, right? Or is your website the last click? And so Google wants to always make sure that like if you show up on the search results, they click on your search results and they come to your page, and then they immediately leave and come back to and check on another search result. That kind of looks bad. It looks like you didn't answer the question that they were wanting to answer. And so, so making sure that we provide the content that users want to see and reduce that bounce rate definitely helps as well. All right, so as we're talking about social things, let's talk social media really quick. Social media is a great way to create a backlink, right? And to actually help your business to show up better on search results. So I just did a quick snapshot here to show you how, like, ideally, if someone searched for your business, you want to see it so they can see your website and maybe multiple pages of your website, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and all these other places. Like, look at this, the second one here, this bright logo, right? That's not, they have me listed there, right? They have me listed, but so that's not me creating any type of content. But you can see my website. You can see this is a another website there. This is my website again. This is my Facebook page, right? And ideally, that's what we want to see. So social media really can help us to provide, well, it can help Google understand who we are a little bit better and actually show up better in those search results. And so it's also a way to get connections and people coming to your site from social media. So social media is a great way to get traffic to your site and really improve your search engine optimization. All right, so now we can get into a little more technical things real briefly here. I tried, there's a lot of ways to be the technical SEO. So I've just kind of broke it down to 3 of them here. But the first one is download speed. You guys have all maybe have heard of this. When it comes to Google trying to rank you, there's lots of different things that they might be looking at. But download speed is one of those things they care highly about. And that's because if it takes forever for your page to load and they don't have a good experience and they leave before your page loads, they don't want to keep referring your page to other people. Okay, so you've got to make sure that your page has good download speed. If it has a good download speed, then they'll rank it higher. Okay, so I'll always be paying attention to how fast your page loads. So when you upload images and things, try and compress them. Try and make sure that they're, the size of that image is small enough that it doesn't take forever to load, right? So you're always trying to optimize the image size. And then just, I know there's a lot of you that might have funnels pages, but you also might have WordPress pages, and you might have Wix or Squarespace or any other type of website, right? So all of these pertain to the same thing. Make sure all of them download very quickly. Also, make sure that they are all very mobile friendly. Okay, mobile friendly will help because most searches now happen on the mobile device, right? Most of the time it's on the mobile device. So Google is paying attention now to, and they're scanning they're crawling your website now with a mobile device lens. Okay, so they're looking at it more with the mobile device lens, and that's how they're ranking you. It's more on that mobile device and less on the desktop version. Okay, so make sure that your website actually compresses and shows up well in a small vertical format. If someone has to scroll horizontally left and right to see your page, then there's a problem. All right, and then make sure your data is very structured so that again your links just make sense. So that you have a your website.com/services/service1, service2, that type of thing. All right, so that's kind of the basics. We can go way deeper on that one, but I just want to make sure you cover those things: download speed, mobile friendliness, and so speaking of mobileness, mobile SEO, right? We can dive into this one a little bit deeper. Yes, your page needs to be mobile optimized, and every page of your funnel needs to be mobile optimized. And there's a thing called accelerated mobile pages, and this helps your pages to actually download a lot faster when someone is on a mobile device. And then again, mobile first indexing. You just want to be thinking when you're creating a website, you want to be thinking, how does this look on a mobile first, right? You can make it look really pretty on a desktop, but that doesn't matter if most of your users are on mobile. Okay, so think mobile first, and then you can think desktop version later. Okay, now I know a lot of you might be selling something online to nationwide and worldwide, and it's just a simple product. But there's some of you that are using a brick and mortar building, right? Some of you that are trying to serve a local area. And so one way to help you is with what we call local SEO. This is a really pretty cool tool. Google has really made it so that they show, if they know that you're looking for, say, a dentist near me, then what they're going to show you is what I call a 3-pack and a map. Okay, a 3-pack and a map is 3 businesses that Google says are the 3 most relevant for that search. And then they also show a map to show where they're located. If you can show up in that 3-pack and the map, then you're the top 3. Okay, so when they show a 3-pack and the map, there's usually ads, there's usually a 3-pack and the map, and then all the websites. Okay, so if you can show up in the local SEO, you're above all the websites. And sometimes you can show up faster in that 3-pack and the map than you can with the websites, because with the websites, you're really trying to do all the things I've just talked about. With the local SEO, you're really optimizing your Google business profile. Okay, and so let's talk about Google Business Profile. And Apple just came out with Apple Business Connect as well, right? So 2 profile directories there that you need to pay attention to. Because if you have an Apple phone, an iPhone, yeah, you're probably using some type of Apple device there, and they're going to start showing you Apple Business Connect links. All right, so things that you can do is optimize. First of all, create a Google Business Profile. You should create one of those and create an Apple Business Connect. Then make sure it's optimized. Fully fill it out, right? Add your photos. Make sure they're quality, professional looking photos. Add your links to your websites. Put directions or your address to your brick and mortar building. You can add posts, kind of like social media, where you add an image and some text and give an update about your business or about the products or services that you're offering, an event that might be going on, and then really putting in a quality description that is keyword rich, right? Remember those keywords? Use those keywords here in your description, and then pay attention to the reviews that you're getting. Okay, the reviews are really important because that's the social proof that gives people confidence in doing business with you. Okay, if you've got a 1-star rating and 60 reviews, you're not going to look good. Nobody's going to want to do business with you, right? So you want to have a 5-star review with 60 ratings, or a 4.2, right? That's way better than a 1-star rating. Okay, so pay attention to the reviews and try and get reviews, right? Ask, right? You need to start asking all your past clients to write reviews for you. And you can send them over to your Google Business Profile and they can write a review for you. Okay, so this is a really cool tool that I want to show you that most people haven't seen before. They don't they don't really know about. But Google does not show the same results to people, to everybody, right? It all depends on where you are at geographically. And like we talked about, everyone's using a mobile phone. So it's really important that Google shows relevant information for where somebody is at geographically. If I'm on if I'm looking for a restaurant on the east side of town, I want to find restaurants on the east side of town. If they start showing me restaurants on the west side of town or in a totally different city, I won't be using Google anymore, right? And Google can't have that. So they've got to make sure it's very relevant for where I'm located. All right, so now here's an example. If I have a business, if I have a roofing business here, I'm a roofing contractor, and somebody is in that area where the green circles are, if they're in that geographical area, and this is around Baltimore, if someone's in that geographical area, they'll find me in the 3-pack if they're in those green circles. If they are outside of those green circles and are in the areas where they're red or orange or yellow, then they're not going to find me in the 3-pack. And you can see there's different numbers associated with each one of them. You know, the yellows are 4, 5, and 6, and the oranges, you know, they get up there. So you can see that if someone's searching for your business, you may or may not show up in that 3-pack, and you may or may not. And this actually also applies to more than just the local SEO. This applies to websites in general, right? So if you're always looking in your office and you always do a quick search to see if someone can find you, and sure enough, you're always in the 3-pack, you think you're amazing. Why aren't people calling me? Well, you need to do a little drive down the road a mile or two and then do a search and see what they find out, right? Because more than likely, you may not be showing up very well. Your goal is to get all of these circles to become green, right? So the entire map is green. If that's the case, then the area that you're trying to serve, they're going to find you a lot more often, okay? All right, just a couple more slides here. I know we're going to be finishing up here, and then we'll have some Q&As. So just some tools there that I wanted to mention really fast. We've already mentioned the Google Search Console, the links up in the top. Google Analytics, okay? I encourage you to add Google Analytics to your funnels, to your websites. It is another way to look at data, okay? I know ClickFunnels or any other place might have a way to provide analytics, but believe me, you want to look at analytics in a variety of different ways. And so if you can add Google Analytics to it, it will help. Okay, your SEO, the SEO meta in one click. That is that really cool. It's a Chrome extension, and so I'm going to put that here in the link as well for you. Oh, I just did that as a direct message. Let me make sure I do it to everyone. Okay, it's a Chrome extension that you can add on to your to Chrome, and just simply when you click on it, no matter what page you're on, whatever page on the internet, you just click on that and it gives you that little drop down window and tells you instantly what your title and description and everything is. So a very, very useful tool if you are trying to do SEO. Now, other useful tools, and some of these are big, but Moz and SEMrush, right? They have lots and lots of tools in there. And so some of them are free, some of them are paid, right? The Search Console, Analytics, SEO Meta in one click, those are all free. So Moz, Screaming Frog, SEMrush, they can all do some amazing, they have amazing tools that help you with your SEO. So you don't have to just do this all on your own. Choose one of them and just go with it, right? They can provide a lot of good content for you and a lot of good information that you'll need. All right, really quick, I want to address this. There is a thing called ethics that we all need to pay attention to. And you might have heard the term black hat SEO. Okay, well, what is black hat SEO? Black hat SEO is basically where you are trying to fool the search engine, right? You are trying to manipulate and fool the search engine and do things outside of their policies and procedures. And so what you want to do is avoid that type of thing. And you might think, well, wait a minute, I thought I was just trying to help them understand who I am. Yes. So do that inside of the parameters that they suggest. if you start doing things that are considered black hats, then Google or any of the search engines can just turn around and unindex you. They can just take you right out, right? And you're gone, right? You don't even show up anymore on a website. So you can get penalized pretty bad that way. And a lot of businesses can be hurt pretty bad financially if their website's not being indexed. So, so don't do things black hats, okay? And so here's some, I grab these and just put these up as basic principles that you want to follow. So this is what Google says, right from their webmaster guidelines. Make pages primarily for users, not search engines, okay? That's what I said earlier. Don't deceive your users. Avoid tricks intended to improve the search rankings, right? So ask yourself whether you'd feel comfortable explaining what you've done to a website, on your website to a Google employee. Hey, did you just do something a little shady? Would they actually approve of that? Or ask yourself, would I do this if search engines didn't exist, right? If only users were coming to my site, then would I even do this? If you wouldn't, then don't play with it too much, right? And think about what makes your website unique, valuable, or engaging, and really, really focus in on that. That is what helps Google and helps your users. And a couple of things to pay attention to on the avoid. It says automatically generated content. Okay, so right there on Google, it's telling you avoid the AI generated stuff, right? You don't want to just have a AI generate all of your text and you copy and paste and do nothing with it. And I tell everybody, if you're using AI, it's a great tool to use to get you 80% of the way there. But you should have some human interaction with the other 20% and do some editing and make sure it actually makes sense. Okay. I'll tell you my little experience just in creating this this presentation. I went through 4 or 5 of these presentations using an AI tool. And I kept looking at each one and I thought, well, okay, part of that's right, but part of it's not. Let me fix this. And then I found out that I was like spending way more time. So I go to the next AI tool and I try it again, and I tried it again. And I finally just said, I'm just going to create this myself from scratch. And I just wrote it, right? So sometimes AI is great. Like I said, it can get you 80% of the way there, but you always need to have some human interaction with it. Don't just copy and paste from AI. And you can see, because Google's putting that there, there's going to be a point in time where they start penalizing you if you are doing that type of thing. All right, and don't participate in link schemes. There's a lot of clickbait type of scams out there, and they'll get you penalized, right? Don't be trying to get fake reviews. Don't be trying to pay for for links. Oh, and pay a company to suddenly give you 10,000 backlinks. Because most of the time they're not legitimate, right? So you've got to find good quality backlinks and everything like that. And hidden text and links, it used to be that people would stuff their website with all these keywords. They'd put them at the bottom and then make them the same color as the background. Okay, if you're still doing that, don't. That ended probably 20 years ago. It ended a long time ago. So don't do that type of thing. That's called the keyword stuffing. You don't want to just stuff your page full of keywords and hide them so the user doesn't see them, but Google can see them. You don't want to do those types of things. All right, so do white hat type of things, not black hat. Be ethical in everything you're doing. Follow the rules and guidelines, and Google will help you with those search results and show up better. All right, so in summary, this is what we covered. Get yourself indexed. Do some keyword research, then add that research, those keywords to your content. Make sure you have great content that has headlines and that follows an outline, so you can do those things. Your on-page SEO with your title tags, meta descriptions, headlines, and things. Do the things that help you with the off-page SEO, right? Things such as the backlinks or the social media accounts, those types of things. And then pay attention to local SEO if that fits in your business, and always pay attention to mobile SEO, because it's mobile SEO is important for everybody. And then just be ethical in everything that you do. So in summary, if I have a little guide here that I have put together, if you are interested, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is a free guide on how to get more exposure on Google. It's like a 35-page thing. It'll walk you through. This is primarily for a Google business profile, but it'll walk you through how to set that up and what things you should be paying attention to. If you want that, click on that link, go fill out my funnel, and you'll get your free guide sent over to you. Okay. So that's a free guide for attending there today. Appreciate all that you do. I now have time for questions. How do we do, Lee?
That was brilliant. I think SEO is such a complex topic, isn't it? But I think you've done really well to explain it. And if anyone's this is the first time you're understanding SEO, I'm going to send the replay of this out to everyone on Monday just to go through it again, because it's an art in itself, isn't it? SEO. I think you touched on it before, but the best way to think of SEO is like Google is a business that's collecting information, and they want to give their customers the best information. And it's all about building trust in Google, and the more they can trust you, the better you'll be. So yeah, Dan, that was absolutely fantastic. Lisa asked a question going back to the title tags. She said she had an SEO consultant tell her that she needed to put numbers and symbols, especially the percentage sign in the heading, to be recognized as valued. Is that a thing? That sounds to me like it's a sort of a shortcut, but is that a title tag? And your title tag is, as you said, it's the title of the piece ultimately, isn't it? It's an explanation of what people are about to dive into.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the answer to that is, I mean, that's possible he's talking about a title tag, but depending on what that page is, right? For example, if this page is a blog, or I wrote some type of article that says, here's 10 benefits of using search engine optimization, then I would want to use the number 10, right, as in my headlines, right? And I kind of want to explain that in my title tag. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. If that was my page, then I wouldn't want to be using a percentage or having any other symbol in there. I would use the number, the 10, but I wouldn't be doing anything else. The title tag is very specific to what that page is all about, and it needs to be user friendly. Now, if he's talking about some type of code on the coding side of things, and I didn't get into any coding, right? You can do all this SEO. If you know how to code, you can do it, but you can also do it without coding. And so there's possible that he's talking more on the coding side of things. But without coding, yeah, the words that you're trying to use for that page should just be exactly what it is. Don't put in any extra symbols or characters or anything to try and help Google. It should be, what does the user need to see?
Very cool. Laurie just asked, does it help to link your social media pages to your funnel? And does it matter how much you post on social?
Yes. Okay. So you do want to link your social media pages. Okay. Now, let me help you understand. There should be some type of website, and there should be some type of funnel sales page happening, right? The two of them can be together, right? For example, if you are offering I'm going to use me as an example, because then you'll understand it. If I'm a digital marketing agency and I have a website, and my website shows that I have different services, and one of them might be SEO. Well, when you click on my SEO link, I could then send you to my SEO funnel page, right? Where I actually tell you all about SEO, and here's what you need to do, and here's why, and here's the thing that I want you to do. Click, right? That one event, and then take you through this other steps that I wanted you to do. And so you can tie your websites to your and your funnels together. So if you're doing like social media, yes, then link that Facebook page to your social media or to your website, and then your funnels are already on it. Now, if your funnel is your website, then yeah, it just goes directly to that one thing. But yeah, you should definitely tie them. And then the follow-up question was, how often should I post on social?
Or does it
Um,
matter how much you post?
doesn't matter. So social, here's the way I look at it for social media. When you are posting content on social media, it matters what the content is, probably more than how often you post. If because if I do a search, think of my example. I searched for my business, and I found my Facebook page right there. Right. If that was one of my potential clients, they clicked on my Facebook page, and they started looking at my Facebook posts. What are they going to see? What's the content that I want them to see? And does it really matter that I posted 4 times this week, or if I posted once this week? They'll probably look at the 10 most recent posts. And as long as there's quality and value and it seems like they're recent, then it doesn't really matter. But if you're just posting things like, hey, today is it's National Hamburger Day. Hope you guys all get a hamburger. And that has nothing to do with your business, then that is a wasted post, right? There's no value in that type of thing. So if you want to always be creating posts that are quality, that explains your benefit or your service that you're offering, the product or service that you're offering, the benefits they provide, and show those in a variety of different ways, that's way better than how often you post. So if you're a business that you're struggling to find time to post, then post like once a month, if that's it. Post maybe 4 times, once a week. And then if you got more time, then you can post more often. But all of your content you post should be very valuable. Hopefully that makes sense.
Does it, so say someone's got an Instagram page and they post 10 times a day versus another person, same niche, same industry, but they only post once a week. Will there be any sort of difference in the SEO? Say someone searches for digital marketing agency Instagram. Do you know if Facebook or Google will rank you higher for doing more posts versus the person that doesn't post as much? Do you know how that ties in?
Well, Google's looking at a variety of things, right? We talked about the popularity of your site. So you could be posting a lot of things and nobody's coming to your site. So that doesn't actually help your SEO. It does. So the more content that you can create that's valuable, that you can get somebody to link over to your site, the better, right? So the number of posts, not necessarily. Now, if you have the exact same number of people coming to your sites and one of you is posting more than the other, then maybe, right? But most of the time, it's still back to the quality of posts and is it actually getting someone to engage with you and coming to your page or to your site, takes those next steps. So those things matter more to Google than just how often you post.
Cool. Very cool.
Also, the types of things you post should be relates to what's on your websites. And if you're talking about dogs over here but you're selling hamburgers over here, those don't make sense, right? And Google's confused and they probably wouldn't even show up together in the search results because they're totally different. So make sure you're talking about the same things.
Very, very cool. Very true as well. If anyone's got any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. One thing I wanted to ask you, Dan, with ClickFunnels people, is it useful for them to create a sitemap? I've never ever seen anyone do it or heard someone talk about it, but obviously with WordPress, it's pretty standard practice, isn't it? So
yes, yeah, you do want to create a sitemap, and with right on Search Console, you can submit your sitemap right there to Google, and so it becomes really easy to let them know, hey, I made some changes, I add some new pages, and here's my new sitemap, and away it goes. So it's very useful tool to create a sitemap.
very cool. So someone could just create an extra funnel page that is their sitemap /sitemap, and away they go. They're because you can get sitemap creators, can't you? Generators online.
Yeah, you can get those. Yeah. There's a lot of tools, especially like if you're using a Moz or SEMrush. There's a lot of tools that you can just quickly, like, don't try and go into ClickFunnels and create a sitemap, right? Use the tools; it'll quickly create one for you. It's a sitemap is code. It's XML code, right? They're even hard to read. So Yeah, if you don't know code, so just have it generated, copy and paste the sitemap, put it in the place, and yeah, away it goes. So
Very cool. We've run our hour. It doesn't look like there are any other questions. Have you got any last tips that you think people can take away? Is there anything relating to ranking quickly? What would you, if you were starting brand new now, you've just watched this, you're like, right, I'm really into this SEO stuff. What would be like your first 3 steps to starting to rank your stuff? As touching on what Laurie's just asked, sort of, is frequent blogging still relevant? Is that an avenue you would go down? What would you
yeah,
go for?
yeah, exactly. All right, so if you're really wanting the quick first steps, one, make sure you go get your site indexed, start using the tools like Google Search Console, and get access to like Moz or SEMrush, these other tools that can help you. They will really guide you along the way. But 2, if you don't pay for any of that, pay a lot of attention to your pages, the content. You just always want to make sure that you're writing content for the user, not for Google. Make sure you have a headline. Your headlines is an outline format. Like, I really encourage that outline format. Almost before you start building a page, create all your outlines or your headlines first, headlines and subheadlines. Make sure they make sense if all you're looking at is headlines, because a lot of people are just scanning their page. They're just looking at headlines, and the user, has to make sense as they scroll down. And if it makes sense to the user, it'll make sense to Google, and that'll be better, right? Then inside the body paragraphs, make sure you're actually talking about what you're referring to in the paragraphs. So on page SEO is where I would start, right? Do the things on the on-page SEO that help Google. So help Google know that your page is there. That make sure that they crawl it, and then make sure that your on-page information is taken care of. That would be the very first thing that I pay attention to. Everything else is in addition to, right? So if you're looking at a hierarchy of needs, those are the things you need first, right? Create those, and then everything else can build on top. And blogging is still relevant, yes, because what it does is it creates more content and helps Google know more about you, right? So I might have a service for SEO, and I've got this single page that says, here's my SEO. But if I have a blog over here and I'm writing this article, here's an article for SEO for beginners, and here's the things you should pay attention to. Well, now here's additional information that helps Google know what my page is about, and that I help people with SEO. So now if someone searches for SEO, then they can say, oh, well, yeah, Dan does SEO. He's got a page here that says this is what he says, and then he's got these all these articles, all these content that talks about SEO. So yes, he definitely does SEO, and now they show me a lot better. So yes, relevant blogging is still important. If you hire any type of agency, writing blogs is probably still one of those things that they want to do for you to help you rank better.
Very cool. So if anyone wants to reach out to Dan directly via the marketplace, I'm going to put his link in there now. Dan is an expert in all of this, and Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, any ads, SEO. You do the full marketing suite, don't you? Any avenue people want to go down.
Exactly. Yeah, and I need to put all of my services in the funnel marketplace. I only have a few of them, so I got to get the rest of them in there. I don't even have SEO in there right now. But yeah, if you do, then just reach out to me directly, and I'll get something built real quick for you, so that we can work on that. But yeah, I do all those things a digital marketing agency would do to help build websites or funnels, and Facebook ads and Google ads, and SEO, and review and reputation management, and helping you get better reviews. So all those types of things. Let me help you. If you have a question, just reach out to me through the funnel marketplace.
So I think sort of focusing on, I actually wrote about this in the newsletter today, funnily enough, focusing on this area, like on SEO, something hardly any ClickFunnels users do. And it is a great way to sort of get ahead of the curve, increase conversion rates. Because something I put in the newsletter today, was all about load times, like download times, like you mentioned. They said if your page takes 5 seconds to load, the probability of someone bouncing increases 90%. So obviously if people are bouncing because you haven't looked at your SEO, the page is a mess, you haven't had Dan scan it and fix it, there's a 90% increase in people bouncing, which means they just go to the page and they leave before they do anything. And all those people aren't opting in, which is insane to me. So I'm hoping after posting that today and this video now, a lot of people are going to be thinking, I need to focus on this SEO stuff. And again, in the beginning, it can be, like you said, the on-page stuff can be fairly quick to straighten out. You can get a lot of quick wins fairly quickly.
Absolutely. Because if you just rely on ads and your funnel, the reality is that people come to your funnel and it's like only 4% who actually follow through all the way. The rest of the 96, they'll go off and start doing a search, and they start trying to see if you're credible, right? They start trying to see what else they can find out about you. Right? So at that point in time, now your ad got them interested, but now that before they pull the trigger, they're going to do a search about Google or on Google about you. And if they find good things, right, they can find a good website that talks about you. They can find your social media pages. If they can find your Google Business Profile, your Apple Business Connect, whatever it might be. If they start finding those searches, they're going to feel more confident.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. It's a holistic way of looking at it, isn't it? Because they say most people will go and search for you after finding you for the first time, think, who is this person? Are they legit? And if they go to Google and they're not there, I know that myself, if I saw something like a business, I've never heard of these people before, and then I search for them directly and Google doesn't even know who they are, I'm instantly thinking, this could be anything. Yeah. This could be just, they put up a funnel and they're just going to take my money and run. So
yeah, if Google doesn't know who they are, this is probably a scam.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah. Like you said, people trust Google more than they trust ads, because anyone can, it take 5 minutes and you've got ads set up, whereas Google it's your layer of defense, I guess, isn't it? It's their layer of trust on there. So absolutely. Brilliant, Dan. Again, thank you very, very much, sir. It's been absolutely brilliant. Everyone, as I said, I'll send you the replays. If you want to reach out to Dan, you can do so via the marketplace. If you want to grab his Google guide, which I would highly recommend, definitely grab that as well. His link's in the chat. I'll put all of those links in the email I send as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks, Dan, for taking the time to do this. We're going to have to do this again soon because this was brilliant. Yeah, everyone have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and let's kick some butt next week. Let's start getting our SEO game up and see what a difference it makes to our pages and our funnels.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, everybody.
See you all later. Have a good one.